Once again, I am a quick picks loser. In the month of November, I ended up finishing in last. I choked pretty badly with some of those games that I picked, but that's not important right now. What's important is you do the crime, or in this case, make bad picks. You do the time. And in this case, I am here to present you with the top 5 reasons for why Aaron Judge made a big mistake by not signing with the Giants and staying with the Yankees. Now, for starters, let's go with we are obviously modeling this off of one of my old favorite shows on ESPN, which was Top 5 Reasons You Can't Blame. In this case, we're going to go with top 5 reasons that you can blame Aaron Judge for not staying with the Giants, for not signing with the Giants. And yes, as you can see on the left, this is an alternate universe of what might have been, even though it probably would have made me devastated as a Yankee fan. But in any event, let's get to it. Number 5, you have the cities themselves. We know that New York is a fun city. There's a lot going on. It's got a lot of historic places. But then again, San Francisco has a lot of the same things that New York can offer, but probably more. For instance, the weather is much better. The food is so much better too. And in fact, I would also argue that the city of San Francisco is cleaner. I mean, when do you hear about dirty stuff going on in San Francisco, unlike in New York, where you've got like the stench of like horrible pollution and then you got trash lying around, not to mention there's the rats. I don't want to get into the politics of all this, but the fact of the matter is, as much as I love New York, we know New York is a flawed city. So I would argue that Aaron Judge probably made a mistake by staying there. And while we're at it, I mentioned the subways. What would you rather travel through in your city? A disgusting subway or a really cool cable car? I don't think that's really a hard question to answer. And not to mention there's the stadiums. I mean, on the surface, it seems like Aaron Judge did the right thing by staying at Yankee Stadium. I mean, you got that short porch in right field, can help you with a lot of home runs. Everyone likes to make fun of like that ballpark. And, quite frankly, the dimensions at Yankee Stadium are a joke compared to San Francisco. So, why wouldn't you want to challenge yourself by going to Oracle Park, which is more of a like somewhat pitcher friendly ballpark as opposed to Yankee Stadium? And not to mention, if you really take a look at Oracle Park, it looks a little bit more fan friendly than more friendlier than Yankee Stadium too, even with that short porch. No, and not to mention, look at the surrounding part of the park right here on the picture in the left corner. Oracle Park's better. So that's the first. So I would say he probably did make a mistake in staying in New York. Number 4, the fan bases. I mean, look, as much as I love my fellow Yankee fan base, let's not kid ourselves. Our fan base can be pretty crazy, pretty toxic, and we love to brag about a lot of stuff that's happened in the past when in reality, you know what's happened lately. As for the Giants fan base just seems like generally cool people. You know, they don't turn on their superstars when things go wrong. They keep supporting them regardless. Now, do they have the history of the Yankees? No, not really, but at the same time, you don't hear about too many crazy Giants fans. So, I think you'd rather play for those guys than the guys you were cheering for, who probably booed you every once in a while, and may very well boo you again if you start to not live up to that contract. Number 3. Speaking of which, the pressure. Yes, I said playing in New York can be pressure because of the can have pressure because of the toxic fan base. Well, there's another thing you also have to consider in there. Like San Francisco, obviously, you're not going to be having Not only are you not going to be dealing with that, but the media is going to be much nicer to you. And then, of course, there's the legendary company. Playing for the Yankees is great and all. I mean, you played for the same team as Derek Jeter, Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio, Donnie Baseball, to name a few. But how come we don't talk about the Giants legends in the same breath? I mean, for crying out loud, this is a team that had Willie McCovey, Willie Mays, who many argue is the greatest of all, one of the greatest players of all time, and of course, none other than the polarizing Barry Bonds. By going to San Francisco, Judge probably could have created his own legacy and put himself in the same sentence as those guys. Not to mention, New York may emphasize winning, but as I said, pressure isn't really as big in San Francisco. In fact, if you're a Giant, you're going to be loved regardless of what you do, especially if you are a local boy who becomes a Giant. After all, look at Barry Bonds. And I'll give you guys a fun fact. 1992, Barry Bonds hit 311 for the Pirates and won an MVP. And then, of course, he hit free agency. Went back home to the Giants, where he followed that up with another fantastic season. 30 years later, Judge not only hit 62 home runs, but he also hit 311 and won an MVP. So, they've got some stuff in common. So maybe Judge follows that up with another fantastic MVP season for the Giants, should he make the right decision and go there. So I guess he really can be just like Barry. But there would have been one word of advice I would have given Aaron Judge had he done the right thing and gone to the Giants. Be like Barry, but also don't be too much like Barry. Which, of course, brings me to number 2, the winning cultures. Obviously, we have 27 championships. New York Yankees. Greatest franchise in all of sports. Yeah, but guess what? Dallas Cowboys also have 5 Super Bowls. What have they done lately? They've only won 2 playoff games in my lifetime. As far as the Yankees, well, heck, at least the Yankees have won 5 championships in my lifetime, but I'm only old enough to really remember one. And since that one championship in 2009, what have they done for me lately? 0 rings, 0 pennants. They may have won the most games within the decade of the 2010s, but they didn't win the thing that mattered the most. But let's take a look at the Giants, on the other hand. Sure, they may have fallen on hard times, at least lately. I mean, they did have that one amazing season where they overtook the Dodgers, but ultimately fell short in the division series. But they have won more recently than the Yankees. 3 titles in 5 years, all of which have come in the 2010s. I'd say that's a much better culture than the Yankees, don't you? But of course, the number one reason that Aaron Judge made a mistake, destiny. It was always his destiny to come back home. After all, he grew up in the Bay Area as a Giants fan. Now, if you're watching this, let me ask you a question. If your favorite team offered you a boatload of money to come play for them, wouldn't you want to go back home and play for said team? I know I probably would if the Yankees tried to do what the Giants did for Aaron Judge. But at the end of the day, these are all questions that this is all for naught. Because while you may see Judge as someone who is loyal to the team that he became a star with, he also wasn't going to stay with the Yankees unless they gave him the bank. Let's face it, guys. As much as we're happy to see Aaron Judge staying in pinstripes, he made a big, big mistake. He should have come home, and home is where the heart is. Well, that pretty much wraps it up for my TED Talk. Thank you for listening to the reasons why Aaron Judge should have gone to the San Francisco Giants, but just a friendly neighborhood reminder and a friendly PSA to all my fellow members of Review and Preview. Don't lose quick picks. Otherwise, you're going to have give a similar TED talk that I am. Anyways, happy holidays. Hope you enjoyed yourself. I will talk to you guys later.